I'm a Pokemon card seller with over 5 years of experience selling Pokemon cards. If you want to avoid getting scammed, this video might help. I'm no expert, but I have collected it for 5 years. So I was like, okay, well, it suggests that I talk about scams. I mean, I feel like scams is quite basic. Like, I don't know if anyone's played a game called RuneScape. So within RuneScape, there also used to be like so many scams. Like, although you wouldn't actually lose real money, it was like people saying, "Oh, I'll trim your armor for free," which in the game called RuneScape is basically it has like stuff like rune armor, which is like about 50k gold ish, and there'd be random players in the game that would say, "Oh, I'll trim your armor for free," which actually is not free. They just wanna. You can't actually trim armor, but there was something called the rune trim armor, and there was like seraphim. I don't know, seraphim. Like, it's basically like I can't remember the names. Like the gods of RuneScape, they had like the god armor, and they were worth like 2 mil, but the normal rune armor is like 50k. So like people still had something not extremely gained from. Basically the point was, you could say there's no free lunch, but like through playing, I feel like there are online games do. I think there's less popular now online games, but basically, yeah, that the guy saying he'll trim your armor, he's not. He just takes your armor and just runs away. But in real life, I feel like some of this behavior is like the same. I think to not get scammed, I think you just have to pay attention to, probably get some real Pokemon cards and get a feel for what they feel like in your hand, what they look like, and that's probably through experience probably the best way to tell if it's a fake card or not. Throughout my 5 or 6 years, I've not really bought so far, not jinxing it and hoping get something correct, because you can still buy like a fake card. I do have some fake cards, but from bulk, so majority, like 99% is real card and like 0.1% is like a fake, which doesn't really matter. But actually no, I have bought a fake card before, but it was only like £50, so I didn't lose that much. So you can definitely buy fakes. I think there was one video from Logan, which he spent like billions on like fake Pokemon cards, which I think he got a refund from the seller. But like which you can see in his videos, like it's like G.I. Joe toys, but G.I. Joe inside. Damn. What the hell? Seriously? Could have put Pokemon. I mean, to be honest, the answer to the question is like, it's through experience. You can tell if something's fake or not. Because there's like thousands of pounds involved in it now, so like, it's more incentive for people to like make a fake card. I do think through the fake Yu-Gi-Oh card, you can feel the texture difference. Like the card was a lot more harder. In certain cards, sometimes the card is softer, but I think depending on the card, you can probably tell like there's a font difference. And I think it's just through experience. After seeing it many times, what a legit card looks like, then you know what fakes look like. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about buying. I think just buy a couple. Set a budget like, I don't know, £1 grand, £500, and just buy a couple of cards that you like. So the way I rank it is that this used to be like, the older the card, the rarer, the more minter meaning like the condition, the more better, the more closer to pristine, like pack perfect condition, the more valuable the card is. So there's a huge, it's actually annoying, but because it's true, there's a huge price difference between the PSA 10 and the PSA 9, even though it's the same card. And the PSA 9 only has some slight cosmetic difference, like very minor scratches, and the PSA 9 is much cheaper. And as a seller, obviously you're trying to maximize profit, right? So you can grade a couple cards and get PSA 8, PSA 7, and I've definitely not mastered that thoroughly, but yeah, I do think the hobby is potentially bigger in the US. I do think there are collectors in UK, because I have sold on eBay, and there's a lot of collectors in UK too, but I do think the UK does have less of card shows. I'm going to one in London, but I've still yet to see how big the community is here. But But yeah, I think also like partially why I didn't going all in on like a Pokemon card brand. I feel it's because I don't know if it's like slight embarrassment. Like I liked it as a child, but I'm like a grown man at this point, and like watching professional competitive Pokemon competitive play. I guess this guy's played Pokemon for many years. Like he's not actually holding back when you're watching his videos. Like there's no shyness. Well, I'm not shy talking about it. It's just fucking. There's still like an element with like, well, like this is like a kid's hobby, but then at the same time, like if you go to like Pokemon meetups or like Pokemon Go events, it's mainly adults. So at this point, it's basically like an adult game, but not without the 18+ stuff. But I'm surprised like they didn't make. I guess they should make some games in Pokemon that like partially for adults, but then they probably didn't do that because they want to keep the brand intact. I don't know. There's probably like some business decision about it. But every time I talk about Pokemon, it does make me feel like a child again because like because I did play it as a kid. Apparently recently they've shown that people who play Pokemon allocate Pokemon memories in a certain part of their brain, which I think is quite interesting. But anyway, I'm gonna turn this light down. I feel like it's super bright. It's burning my eyes. But yeah, like it's definitely. I mean, recently they've shown that Pokemon card prices have outperformed the S&P 500, which is pretty easy to outperform. It's only like 8 or 12% a year. It's the prices have held a lot better than my crypto and NFT investments. Well, I don't know if you call it investments anymore. Like a lot of my NFTs, which were worth around 33k in 2022, have crashed 95%. So it's like worth $2,000, which is really bad. But that was like a lesson that basically, well, Pokemon's been around for like 30 years now. There's legs. There's a lot of genuine fans of the brand. Whereas with NFTs, it's like people are in it to make profit. They don't actually care about the brand, which creates people who won't hold as long. Like there's no storytelling. So if you look at Bored Ape Yacht Club, I think at the peak it was like 500k, and now it's like worth I don't know how much. I don't think it's worth anywhere near the peak. And they've not, although I've not really followed closely, they've not really built like what I think what they said they're gonna create some game, and I'm not aware of any game that is huge, but I might be wrong. I do think it's probably difficult. Nah, it's not probably. It is very difficult to create something that a lot of people want. So even with loads of money that they raised, I've not seen any major game that came out of that universe of NFTs and crypto yet, but it's possible in the future there will be. Okay, if this video helped, leave a thumbs up and comment. If you have any other questions, be sure to drop a comment.